liver, the enzymes are going out of control and they're not being able to be brought back into control, then a biopsy, obviously, for potential liver cancer is something that could be considered. Symptoms including, and this covers a lot of categories, but this is the most common ones that we see. Besides seeing liver spots, dark circles, and yellowing around the eyes, which I see probably in about a quarter of my customers that walk in the door, because they all seem to have very taxed liver. Stress also taxes the liver as well, too. Include fatigue, just general not feeling good, digestive problems, allergies, chemically sensitive to everything. That can be caused by a lot of other things as well. PMS, constipation, the hormones are all over the place. You're just not doing well. But the outside symptoms, like I said, liver spots, dark circles, and yellowing, and then jaundice if it gets to an extreme point. Diet is paramount when you're talking about the liver. Diet is paramount when we talk about just about everything. But the diet is getting good, wholesome fruits and vegetables, organic, because remember I told you how we have to process all those chemicals? Even if you just call them unsprayed, we don't even go organic. Keeping the chemicals down eases up on the liver. Eating a diet rich in water-soluble fibers, since this promotes bile excretion. Some of us, my husband, he's fantastic. Fiber, 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 and he's 100% right. Those fibers really, really help promote bile excretion. And most Americans do not have adequate amounts of fiber in their diet. So 25 to 30 grams of fiber, if you're eating your 8 to 10 servings of vegetables a day, you're great, you're in good shape. I know very few people that do that. So adding additional amounts of water-soluble fibers, psyllium husk, apple pectins, grapefruit pectins, all those types of water-soluble fibers. Wheat fiber is not a soluble fiber. That's a bulking fiber. So if your doctor goes tell you to eat more wheat bran, that ain't going to cut it. Your fruits and vegetables and then those other things I mentioned are water-soluble types of fibers that help tremendously liver health. Lots of greens as well as good fats. The greens oxygenate the blood. They help you detox on a cellular level. Foods are great, spirulina, chlorella, all those types of superfood greens, seaweeds, whatever your particular cultural is based upon. I know a lot of the Oriental diets have a lot of seaweeds and greens, wonderful for detoxification on the liver. And then those good fats reduce the inflammation down, and they also thin mucus out of the liver. So if you don't have adequate amounts of good fats and adequate amounts of water, particularly your mucus out of your liver, out of your congestion in your chest, your sinuses, whatever it be, is going to get very thick and sludgy, and you're not going to be able to move the bile out of the gallbladder. You're not going to be able to you're going to have bowel issues, you're going to have lots of things. But the liver, the body requires at least 8 glasses of water a day, distributed throughout the day. Not all at once, obviously, but a glass every 2-3 hours, yeah, that's the way to go. There's a lot of supplements. The ones I chose to list on here are the ones that I know have studies or are very well time tested. So if your doctor says there's no evidence to support these items, he or she is wrong. Some of these have studies that are 200 years old. So they're wrong because there's studies to back every single one of these, and a lot of them are fairly recent studies. Both American universities studied, European, Japanese, Chinese studies that are good, valid studies. Number 1, keeping those good fats in the diet. We mentioned that earlier. But if you don't like nuts, walnuts, almonds, pecans, avocados, add the flax oil. Add a clean fish oil. And I'm not talking about going down to the local grocery store and picking up the fish oil. We want a clean fish oil that's free of mercury, PCBs, and other chemical additives. Because then, once again, the liver's going to have to process all these chemical additives. So we want molecularly distilled, clean fish oils, Norwegian fish oils, good quality, mercury PCP free. Choline methionine combinations, what we call lipotropics. We find not so much a reversal, like particularly for alcoholism, but a prevention of damage that alcohol can cause to the liver. Particularly methionine, choline helps methionine work well. It's an amino acid. Treats sluggish liver for some of those excessive estrogens, as well as for alcohol. It also is very helpful. There's a syndrome called Gilbert syndrome, which is due to heredity, that it can help alleviate as well. it'll say on there lipotropics, but you can buy these things individually as well. Very well studied, L-carnitine, also commonly called carnitine, 500 milligrams 2 to 3 times a day on an empty stomach. Carnitine's needed because it handles increased fatty, as I mentioned on here, fatty acid load produced by alcohol in particular. So, or high-fat diets or chemicals or sugars. It just helps that reduction on the liver, the stress on the liver. Liver extracts, since 1896, been used by physicians and others as well, particularly in Europe. The studies support that liver extracts, okay, and we want them from clean sources, particularly we like New Zealand cows. American sources oftentimes are vaccinated, they're full of chemical exposures, or worming agents, everything. We want clean sources of liver extract. Promotes liver cell regeneration and scarring. Once again, studied since 1896. So I don't want to hear this bogus stuff about these things not being studied. Been around for a long time, a lot longer than drugs studied like Lipitor and that type of thing. Okay, N-acetylcysteine, glutathione. The body will produce that in combination with adequate amounts of vitamin C, fatty acids, and other chemical reactions in the body. But you can take N-acetylcysteine and glutathione if you know that you're going to have chemical exposure. If you're an auto mechanic or you're exposed to exhaust all day long, these are produced by the liver, but you can take them internally to help you deal with the environmental toxins that come into the body. Phenomenal. The glutathione comes in an under the tongue type of thing. I have one of my employees, her son, they spray near the schools when they're doing the strawberry fields, and her son will react. She gives him the sublingual glutathione, cuts his reaction time to nil, makes a substantial difference. So these are all available in good health food stores. All right, taken on an empty stomach as well. And the sublingual means goes under the tongue and melts and goes directly into the bloodstream. Turmeric, an age-old spice. A lot of Indian studies on turmeric. Protects the liver from damage, bottom line, from chemicals, all those other things that we described. Ester C, remember I told you that vitamin C increases the glutathione production? Well, it's also required to convert cholesterol into bile. Okay, so let's scratch our heads here. If I can't convert cholesterol into bile, that means my cholesterol is going to go up. So guess what? So if you're vitamin C deficient, your cholesterol is going to go up. So, and I'm not talking about the 60 milligram RDI. That's bogus. We know the body under certain times can use up to 50,000 milligrams of vitamin C per day if it's sick or not feeling well. So, we need 3,000 to 4,000 milligrams of an esterified C or a mineral ascorbate vitamin C. Very necessary for people who have high cholesterol to get it into the bile. Milk thistle, very, very important antioxidant herb. There's varying dosages. I prefer an extract called silymarin, which is a milk thistle extract. Lowers cholesterol content of the bile again. Strong glutathione, protects against chemical damage, increases production of new liver cells. My Hep B and C customers, they come in like the drobes adding these two things on there. And I got to tell you, I have dozens of people who've done this little like program who no longer show up positive in their blood work because they did their own research. They listened. So, phenomenal. Used for hepatitis, cirrhosis, chemical drug damage. Tons of studies to support. So if your doctor says no, he's wrong. Artichoke extract. There's certain types of acids in artichoke that protect and regenerate liver cells. They decongest the liver, lowering cholesterol. There's studies from the 1970s that talk about the lowering of cholesterol by artichoke extract. Dandelion, once again, 2 centuries worth of studies. Pretty doggone good here. Enhances bile flow. It literally helps the contraction of the liver and the gallbladder to release the storage of bile. Like I said, used for centuries by Oriental medicine doctors and American Indian doctors. Alfalfa, alkaline the blood. D3. If you don't have D3, poor bile flow